Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today my name is Taylor. This video is all about my new Boa Constrictor Imperator, or BCI. I purchased a beautiful girl at a Reptile Expo show that I had vended, but also was able to get a little break and walk around, and I got into some trouble. So stay tuned to the next couple clips. I'm going to share all about the build, the supplies, and as well introduce you to Miss Cora. Okay, this is the enclosure that we purchased for our new boa constrictor. It is a 230-gallon tank. It is a 48 by 24 by 48, I believe. So 4 by 2 by 4, if I have my math correct there. Um, it's by the brand Toxyrim, Toxyrim from a reptile. So overall, it's very comparable to the dubia roaches enclosures, on the cheaper side, more affordable, which is what I'm looking for. So we went ahead and had this set up. We did get a stand, so we're going to get the stand in a couple days. So when that's complete, we'll see kind of how much higher it goes up. And I'm going to have this plant fixed, so we'll be able to kind of see the end result and how it's going to be placed. And next, I'm going to show you all of the supplies that I ended up getting for the boa enclosure. This is a 15-pound box of cork from Zoomid. So all different types of cork rounds that we'll use in the background scape, and just general climbing and enrichment opportunities in the enclosure. So we have this. We probably won't use all of this, but this is just available. Next, let me show you all the other supplies. So this is just a quick little view of all of the other things, such as tons of fake plants. I ended up getting this LED skull waterfall. I saw it was really cool. I saw it actually set up at the most recent expo I went to, and I purchased the medium. This is the largest one I could find. I guess they don't make it any bigger. So we will use this as more of a decorative item. It's not for any other purpose outside of it just making the enclosure aesthetically appealing and just giving that cool jungle oasis look that I'm looking to give. So we have a ton of these Coleus Dracaena. This is like a 4-foot Dracaena. It's like a plum fuchsia color. Hope you can see that. So we'll have this towards the back, so it'll have that nice pop of color. Some anthuriums, which I love anthuriums. I have a monstera plant, I think these are crotons. So we have air plants, a bunch of ferns, um, hides, of course, huge water dish. This is just kind of the gist of it as we start to build, and we'll go over everything individually. But so a little bit of how we'll do the background is, so these cork tiles are not really going to be 100% visible at the within the final result, but it's going to help as a base to use the other items to adhere to, hopefully a little bit better. And so I'm hoping this method is helpful. However, I'm placing the hardscape down now on top, after I've siliconed the cork tiles. So I'm trying to build up on the scape on how I want the branches to be positioned before I foam everything in. And so I have tons of driftwood. I have a whole box of cork rounds, cork blots, etc. Uh, and just like some little elements, I'm also going to add like pots and stuff like that, which I'll get them to shortly, just to pick in certain spots at the end so I can film around them. So those pots can house the fake plants that I want to put into the background for the aesthetic. So I'm going to finish up the scape and start foaming in. The expanding foam that I ended up getting from Amazon is Bacon Bond black foam sealant adhesive. This one is pretty good. So they had a big box of, I think, like 12 of them for like $80, which is a pretty good deal. So I ended up just getting the big box because I probably use this if I don't finish all of them. I don't think I'm going to use all of them because I plan to go over all the areas possibly with clay. I foamed in all of these pieces here. I use about 5 or 6 cans. That's a lot. It did not go very far, so I'm glad I got the big box. So when this is cured, then I'm going to do the sides probably in certain areas. I'm not doing like every like inch by inch, just in the gaps and crevices to kind of blend and to secure the branches too. So when this cures, I'm going to move it over to one side and the other side, and then carve. So realistically, this project, this part of the process definitely takes some time because you don't want to rush it, and you want to make sure you do every part because you want this to last and you want it to be secure. Okay, so this is where I'm at currently. This has been about 2 days of carving. It's all the foam cured, and I just kind of carved it around to adhere to the areas that it's supporting plant pots, the branches, any gaps that the cork tile could not connect. And just to add some additional texture, the goal after this is to use the excavator clay. Um, I did see with ZoomEd a video on their page that you can use this in a tropical terrarium. So we're going to give it a shot. Another option I did see on another YouTube video, a young gentleman was using plain 100% clay cat litter, mixing it with some substrate such as Eco Earth, mixing all that with water so he can get the color of the clay that he'd like, and using that as well as another method towards the background, kind of making it into a putty consistency. All right, so we're on the next day. I had finished carving everything, touched it up. I'm going to try to use this excavator clay as the background. So I did a cork tile background first. Then I did the foam to secure all of the branches and things in place. Then I carved the foam to a more naturalistic rock-like texture. So this is mainly going to act as like the over the top layer component to blend in everything. I did Google like what to if it can be done because I saw there was a video that somebody did do it. I mean, it was on ZoomEd's YouTube, so but I also Googled it, and the results that had came up pretty much said to add like another organic component, so like cocoa fiber or something. So I added some of that. So it's like technically it's like 2 parts excavator clay, which is like the whole bag, and then I did like 1 part of the coconut fiber, dry. It's the Eco Earth. So I'm mixing it up, and then we're going to add the water in, which is about like 3 cups to get like a really tacky consistency. So, and then I'm going to try to just mold it all around the areas that it needs to cover. And the other method that I watched by another YouTuber, I think his name is John Tyler, and I can link that video in the description too if you're interested. He used plain cat litter. So the plain clay, 100% clay cat litter and water. So I don't really know the difference between that type of clay and then excavator clay. I don't really know if there's a real difference or not. I'm not sure because it says clay requires higher humidity anyway. I'm assuming to hold its shape or whatever. I am mixing up my excavator clay and the Eco Earth and going to add my water in shortly after I'm done mixing and start to kind of just, you know. Okay, just a quick update. I did several coats of Drylock, of charcoal, brown, light browns, whatever. I feel like I am done. Now I'm looking at this from a different angle. I don't love this, but I feel like I am over it. I am over it. I don't mind with all this cracks that look in it because it just kind of resembles real rock. And this is just simply the aftermath of the clay being very dry. So, this is kind of where we're at. And yeah, so next steps that I'll have to do is use this polyurethane thing. It's a water-based, kind of like a sealant, sort of like a top coat. So to help protect the work that we've done here, hopefully. On the back it says you want to do a minimum of 3 coats. So guess I want to get started, do my first coat, and then maybe tonight another, and then tomorrow another, and then kind of just let it fully dry out and cure before installing lighting and decorating, etc. But this is where we're at. I don't hate it. I'm very critical of myself with all this work. But I know when the plants and everything kind of get added in and starts to kind of come together and come to life, it's going to look much better. So I'm trying to give myself some grace here. Doing backgrounds is not for the weak. This is a lot of work, and you pick at yourself at every step that you do. And it's like, how much more natural can I make cracked rock look like? Like, because that's like that's what you anticipate for the backgrounds to look like, or whatever your plan is. And it's just kind of like you have to tell yourself you can't really mess it up. Um, nature is, nature is nature. When you go outside and you look at creeks and mountains and things like that, there's a lot of imperfections, the way that plants grow out of the shapes of things. So you have to kind of keep that in mind when doing these things. But okay, so I think we're gonna just kind of chill with this here, and I'm gonna go over with a sealant, start my coats, and then we're gonna kind of continue to maneuver this project. This has been several weeks. I would really like to have this done by next week. I took some time off this week from my job, so I'm just kind of hanging out at home, relaxing, staycation, and call it a day. So okay, all right, we'll go to the next step. Okay, so we're doing the third coat of the polyurethane, and we're gonna have this finalize that last step of this project. We're gonna let it cure, and then tomorrow we're gonna move forward with doing the decorations. And my husband is going to mount heating and lighting elements into the enclosure, and then we're gonna continue on and see how that turns out. So stay tuned to the next clip. Just want to let you know what step I am in this process. Finally, to the next step is starting to decorate. I added all the substrate, so it's about to the lip here. So it's pretty hefty. I do feel like I gotta go in there and like kind of clean up some of the product that ended up kind of drying. I don't like that and I don't want to see it. So gonna clean that up, obviously. Working on feeling out how I'm gonna decorate it. Not sure. So none of this is permanent, but we're working on it and having the plants bring this to life. And thankfully, my husband is off tomorrow. So he's going to be able to set up the heating and lighting for me. I really don't like doing that. So he offers to do it. So I usually will just wait and have him do it with all his power tools. So I'm definitely a DIY woman, but when your man offers to help, you take advantage of it. So he's going to do that tomorrow. This is going to continue to kind of air out and cure a little bit more. It is dry, but like just having the doors off of the enclosure still to continue the ventilation that this would need, just to ensure that everything is safe, cured 100%. So there's no additional fumes kind of marinating in there. So I'm really, really excited for the next step to finish this decorating and setting everything up. Um, we're getting there finally. It's been several weeks and I'm really glad I did not rush. And I do think that the polyurethane really kind of helps add that protective layer that is required for this background to last. Now, I won't know until, later on down the line and give you a real update. And of course, I'd give you one, months from now. We can touch base on that in the future to make sure that this is held up. But by the looks of it, with the material and how it's cured and hardened, I definitely feel confident that this was a good method. I will say that with clay, it's kind of a hit or miss though, because there were chunks that did fall down. A lot of it is very secure though. So, I mean, with anything, nothing's foolproof 100%. So it's just about the method that you choose to do, how it works, what products you use. I did some re-silicone certain spots that required that were a little loose, just to kind of keep the pretty much aid in the longevity of that. But hopefully this will hold up. I mean, I'm really hopeful for that because this would be a good method. It was very messy and time consuming, and I would probably think that maybe the foam, the insulation board would probably be better for this, but I wanted to try another method. I thought this was very natural looking. I feel like with the board, you have to do a lot of carving, and that might take longer. So I don't know. So far, so good. We're going to touch base tomorrow and we'll kind of see where we're at. But I wanted to let you know that we're finally getting to the next step. So, till tomorrow. So my husband went and he mounted the lighting for me, and we started doing some decorations. Not sure if we're going to keep whatever we're going to have. Our climate is very dry for this season, so where the placement of the enclosure is going to definitely not retain much humidity, especially in this area. So we are going to be adding a misting system and a fogger to manage that, as well as, of course, making sure we're spot cleaning and cleaning things out to avoid any bacteria growth that can harbor and affect the animal and potentially leading to any RI or respiratory infections, etc. But the respiratory infection is not caused by any of these elements. It's caused by the bacteria that can grow by not being cleanly. So